Hello YouTube family, man, Ant-Man here back with another video, and I know it's been a month, but it is what it is. When you're busy, okay, that's just what happens. But I want to talk to you guys about something that I think is important, because since primarily my YouTube channel is based off of giving you tips and strategies as well as guidance, and not just helping you in your online business, but offline business, but I still cold call, I still make phone calls, outbound calls and stuff like that to brick and mortar businesses when I just want to get some information from them. Whatever the reason is, I still pick up that phone. Okay? So I know that there's a lot of consultants out there in the business funding realm. There's a lot of consultants in credit repair, there's a lot of consultants in real estate, a lot of consultants in in the mortgage industry, insurance. I have a lot of consultants, okay, that are part of a business, right? So I just jotted down some do's and don'ts when you are calling. Just some simple introductions that you can just, just switch it up a little bit, because you don't want to sound, like everybody else, but at the same time, you can have enthusiasm, but if you say something, it can kind of deter them away from the conversation. So you want to always be, okay, you always want to be in charge of the call at the same time, but being respectful to the person that you're talking to. And where I got this, I actually was going to make a video about this, okay? And it's very similar to what I saw someone else doing online. I said, wow, I was actually going to make a video touching on this particular subject. So I said, let me go ahead and make my video, okay? Because I know that my video is really based off of those particular type of people that are still cold calling, that are marketing and advertising and a bunch of different things that they're doing, okay? So I wrote things down on this big pad that I hear. So if you see me looking down, I'm reading from my pad, the notes that I wrote to give to you guys. Okay. So what you don't do when you're calling is say this: "Hey, how are you doing today?" Let's just be real. If you're trying to get to trying to get back past the gatekeeper, you're going to respect them, but they can't really help you, as much as you want them to. You get what I'm saying? You don't really care too much about, how they're feeling or if they're doing good, because they don't make the decisions. Your goal is to get to the decision maker. You have respect for them, don't get me wrong, but they don't make the decisions, okay? So you don't want to set an appointment with the receptionist, because all he or she is going to do is send you over to someone else, okay? So you don't want the person that's sending, you want the person that is making those decisions, okay? Paying everyone. You want that man or woman, right? So instead of saying, "Hey, how are you doing today?" No, you say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call." You see how you see how I just felt like an atmosphere shift. It's kind of weird because you're not with me right now, but even as I said that, I felt a shift in the conversation. Just, "Hey, thanks for taking my call." Excuse me. So when they say, "Hey, this is Kristen from CNC Consulting. How may I direct your call?" Or, "How may I help you today?" You say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call." Instead of saying, "Hey, how are you doing today?" They're going to say, "Good," because they've heard it. It's very common. So when you say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call," even if they don't say anything, it still eases things up for you to go right into the next line, right? So even if they respond, they'll say, "Thanks." What you don't say after that is this a good time? It's never a good time. It's never a good time, okay? It's never a good time, and that just gives them a reason to hang up on you. Gives them a reason to not want nothing. They're gonna, "Oh, it's not a good time," or "He's not here," or this, that, and the third, all that, right? So instead of saying, "Is this a good time?" because it's never a good time, you say, "Do you have a few minutes?" Or you can say, "Can you help me?" So from the start, you can say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Do you have a few minutes?" Or, "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me?" You see what I'm talking about? Do you see how that changed? Me personally, I would use, "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me?" Don't say, "Can you help me?" Just say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me?" Kind of stutter a little bit. Can you help me? Put it up because it's a question. So don't say, "Can you help me?" No. Say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me?" You see what I'm saying? So that right there, that puts them, or they assume that they are in charge of the call, because you are waiting on them, for them to respond. Or yeah, you're waiting on them. You're waiting on them. You're waiting on them to respond. Because if you say, "Hey, can you help me?" They're gonna say, "Yeah, sure. What do you need?" So now they're listening because now you're asking them for help. Also, what I've learned is that actually let them know that their position is actually important, because don't get it messed up, guys. Don't get it twisted. Receptionist positions are important. No matter what a salesperson says, "Oh, screw them. You want to get to the gate?" No, no, no. Okay, you treat them with respect all the time, because they are the only one that can get you to the person you need to talk to, or the department of the person you need to talk to, right? So after you say, "Can you help me?" what you don't say is, "I'm sorry to bother you." No, no, no. So it's just, that you're bothering them. You know that you're calling them for a reason. So you technically, you have to bother them. So it's kind of, "I'm sorry to bother you." No, you don't. You want to bother them. You want to you want to talk with them, all right? So I would say, "Can you help me?" Now, instead of saying, okay, just checking in or touching base with you. That is the most regular, basic, original, generic response or leading up to something that I've ever heard. And I was using it at a point until I actually started to revamp some things, and I put this to the test, and it actually gets you moving forward through the call more swiftly, like quicker, okay, and being respectful at the same time, getting the answers that you need because you're asking the right questions. So don't say, um, "just checking in" or "touching base with you." That's just saying you just randomly just look them up. You don't even know what you're calling for. You don't even care. You're just calling them just because. You're not calling them just because. But that's how it's going to come off to the person that's calling. So they're going to say, "Oh, well, you just touching base. Okay, why?" You know? So instead of saying that, you say, "The reason for my call is," you just go right into it. So the entire thing, the entire script, just for the intro, is this: "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Do you have a few moments? Or can you help me?" So then, when you say, "Can you help me?" they're gonna say, "Who is this? What do you want?" Right? So you say, "Hey, this is Anthony with XYZ company. The reason for my call today is," you see what I'm saying? So the entire thing is this: "Hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me with something? Or can you help me?" You're gonna say, "What? With what? What? Who is this? What do you mean, huh?" Right? Because you know how they can get rude on the phone, right? So you say, "Hey, this is Anthony, and I'm with ABC Company. Okay, the reason for my call today is," right? You just go right into it, okay? So also what I put is, always make sure you're moving in a positive direction throughout the entire call. Always make sure you're moving in a positive direction within the entire call. If the call gets negatives, okay, there's of course rebuttals and objections and other things that you may have already for what you do when you're making these calls. But if you don't, and you just feel like there's just maybe some miscommunication, maybe you're not speaking clearly enough, or maybe they're just having an attitude, don't sit around and lose your voice trying to speak over them. Okay, if you can't handle it, it's okay. Just politely hang up the phone and call the next person. Okay. Don't get discouraged. The call has to go through in a positive manner. It has to be positive. Okay? Even if they turn you down in a positive manner, that's still a great thing. Because you don't feel bad about calling them. They don't feel bad, okay, about picking up the phone or denying your product or service. Alright? So I just wanted to give those quick tips for you really quickly, just to do a dial back, okay? Instead of saying, "Hey, how are you doing today?" you say, "Hey, thanks for taking my call." Instead of saying, "Is this a good time?" No, it's never a good time. You say, "Do you have a few moments?" Or you say, "Can you help me?" Right? Instead of saying, "I'm sorry to bother you," like don't say, "I'm sorry to bother you." You would just say, "Can you help me?" All right? Period. Instead of saying, "I'm just touching base with you." No. Like, doesn't that sound boring? Like, no. The reason for my call is, right? That is what you need to say, okay? So the whole entire spiel is, hey, thanks for taking my call. Can you help me? They'll say, oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Anthony from ABC Company. The reason for my call is, right? So you just go right into it. Those are just easier, more simpler ways for you to whip through that intro really quickly. You don't have to sit around and try to have a 6-page biography in just the intro. I remember I was working with a company. I'm not going to name that company, but the company provided to me a script, and when I tell you, it was literally like over 10 pages long. The intro was 2 pages in itself. 2 pages in itself. Before I even got to the actual script, I had to sit here and read like 2 paragraphs before I got to the actual script. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You don't need to talk all that much to get what you need. You just need to know how to ask the right questions the right way. Okay? And then you'll receive the right answers. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. More videos coming up soon. Take care. God bless. I love you all. And I'm out, man.